Dog fans, welcome to Hunker Down. I'm Jeremy York. He's Jacob Skinner. We're here to talk all things Georgia Bulldogs. As you can tell, I am pointed at the away stands. He is pointed at the home stands of
Absolutely.
one of the most prolific stadiums in national college sports. And as always, how are you, Jake?
Doing great, man. It's been a nice Monday. Just glad the workday's over.
It kind of has, but yeah, I'm glad it's over as well. It was a little hectic, but it was nice for a Monday.
Yeah,
Almost
I kind
almost
of got away
unexpected.
with being a little too relaxed at work, to be honest, but I won't complain.
Yeah, I didn't quite get there, but I would have liked to.
Oh, I know.
But we're here to talk about those Georgia Bulldogs. And once again, I saw the first half. I saw the first three quarters of the first game. Saw the first half of this one at a eating establishment before I actually had to go up the street from where I was and cover the Kennesaw game. But I
Right.
saw the rest of it there because there's always TVs on there. And they played Tennessee Tech. I thought Tennessee Tech did actually they showed some fight, some spirit. They just didn't lay down and collect their check. I thought they did a good job of trying to be relevant, and they just run into the buzzsaw right now that is the Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh no, that is definitely what's happened with them. They sorry, I mean they came in, they clearly had a game plan. They ran the ball 40 times. They weren't going to try to throw against Georgia's defense, and they knew their offensive line couldn't hold against that defensive rush. They
Right.
came in, they said, "Look, we're no like they're one of their I think it's their running back. He six or one of them 6 carries, 45 yards, averaged 7.5 yards a carry. I know Georgia hated
Yeah.
that. Like
And the
good on
only
them,
reason
but
they stopped is because they were down by so many points they had to keep throwing the ball.
well, they threw it toward the end, I think, a few passes, but they weren't they the only time they really threw was when they were driving for that field goal. They got lucky on a big play or two and a big run. So outside of that, they weren't trying for much. I got to watch most of the second half. I hate to say, but I was running errands in town because I was on the radio though. I mean, I'm not gonna miss a game, but sometimes you just go, you know what? I'll take a radio for the first half.
Well, and it depends
Yeah,
on what's going on because obviously we both go back and watch whatever parts we miss. We're those
yeah.
kind of people. But I did the same thing with the Falcons game. Saw the first half at a restaurant right after going to church. That was a great day there, and then listen to the rest of it on the radio. Get home, watch the second half on TV. Probably same thing we did with this one. But
Yeah.
yeah, Tennessee Tech, by the way, for people who don't know, is a very run heavy team. They only threw 8 passes and they completed 5 of them, but they are not known for really airing it out much. But like I said, I mean the fact that I don't think Aiden Littles is their starter, and I could be wrong with that, but
Mhm.
I mean he had a good day. There was a few times that I thought they were threatening to put more than 3 points on the board.
I mean, second half they could have. I mean, for the most part, they Georgia kept them on the other side of the 50.
Yeah,
Except for maybe one or two drives, they got a little lucky there. But I mean, all around, good game for the Dogs. Yeah, yeah, it's a glorified practice, and I saw someone complaining that's a glorified practice, but they also forgot that their Alabama Crimson Tide did that in game one and had a glorified practice, dropped what nearly 70 points on a team or 50 something on the team, and then shows up against USF and only wins after their defense finally makes a few critical stops with a USF team that was outmanned, but only outmanned for for one quarter.
well, and think about the glorified practice that happened in South Bend, Indiana this weekend. You got to always watch them. Never know what's going to happen.
Hey, never rule out NIU, man. I love them. Always having the old NCAA games.
Oh yeah, yeah. For people who don't know, Northern Illinois, 16-14 over number 5 Notre Dame, who was ranked way too high. But yeah, go Irish.
Hmm. Yeah. Listen, it doesn't matter what happens to your favorite team, but when Notre Dame loses, it makes everything a little bit better. I would have
It
nothing
was
against Notre Dame. Watching Rudy makes you go, dang, Notre Dame. No, no, it's because I'll speak for most of the nation. We're tired of the hype. Don't give them hype just because they're Notre Dame. This isn't the 70s.
and
This isn't
it's
the 60s.
it's NBC's fault, or isn't that who has the rights to them? They
Yeah,
because
it's
that's
just
the one
NBC
team
only.
that they have rights over, and that they try to just push them so heavy that it's not
Hmm.
Notre Dame's fault, but unfortunately, it's like I said, it's not the waiter or waitress that over or undercooks your steak, but that's the person that brings it to you. So that's who you unfortunately get after about it.
Yep. No, I agree, but it was fun seeing them lose. I enjoyed watching clips of that for sure.
especially being at a post game press conference and half the media didn't know the score update. And in between the coach and players coming in and out of the thing, somebody says, "Hey, did anybody catch the Notre Dame game?" I just hand my phone backwards, and everybody went, "Oh, oh, wow!" And I was like, "Yep, that's not a typo." It was a fun media room for a minute.
I believe that. I believe that. So I
Yeah,
was
I
gonna
like this
say,
one
looking
too.
at this,
So
Carson
yeah,
tied a school record, 5 touchdowns. That's I don't know who else has done this. I'm actually gonna have to look that up right now.
if I had to take a guess, I think it's somebody obscure like a Joe Cox or something. I bet you it's something like that. I don't know if he threw five in 5 games, but
I don't.
it's somebody like that. I don't think it's Stafford. I don't think it's in any of those people. I think it might even been Justin Fields. I mean, it's an obscure.
So who did you say?
That's a Joe Cox.
You got that one right. He is one of them. We'll
Um,
start David Green
okay,
against LSU
another
in
obscure
'04.
one. Another
DJ
obscure one.
Shockley, Matthew Stafford,
Okay, I didn't know Stafford had one.
Joe Cox, Aaron Murray did it twice, and Stetson did it against UAB, and then uh, Carson Beck just did it. Um, just did that. So
I would
congratulations on
I would
getting one of them.
argue I would argue Aaron Murray and possibly Matt Stafford are possibly the best quarterbacks Georgia's had.
Those two, I will say this. David Green may not have been the best, but I would have loved to have seen what he could have done if he actually took the NFL draft serious and stayed in shape with what's around him today.
Oh yeah.
He may not have
Oh
had the
yeah.
biggest arm, but he was smart as a quarterback. I think out of that he'd have been good, and I think DJ Shockley might have been one. DJ might have had the most talent in that room as far
He
as
went
like
to the wrong team.
he went to the wrong team in the draft. He'd had a great senior year. I think if we could have had 2 3 more seasons, and think about if he'd have had a West Georgia style, not West Georgia, excuse me, West Virginia. I say West Georgia because I'm a hat.
Shout out West Georgia Wolves.
Oh yeah, which is this old Braves hat that I found, so I'll take it. But anyway, had he have had a West Virginia style running attack that he ran against with his legs, like he had an arm, like I know we're sidetracking that one, but yeah, he they've had a good string of quarterbacks throughout their history. It's just they
Yeah.
never made it in the pros because they didn't translate. I don't know why, but I know David Green straight up has said he didn't take it serious and he wishes he would have.
Yeah, and that's what happens to a lot of them. They think that they can continue to do because I mean I'll be honest, I kind of did that from in my academic career from high school to college. Is I thought, well, this is going to be a breeze like the last 4, 5, 6 years have been since middle school. I mean, I haven't had, I wasn't top of my class, but I also didn't try very hard. I just kind of did what I needed to kind of just keep going, stay right in the middle. And I got to college and basically I got hit by a bus and I went, I got to change something up. And
No, I
sometimes you
understand
make
that.
those adjustments and sometimes you don't. And unfortunately the David Greens and Joe Coxes of the world just didn't.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to talk about. Georgia game. I mean, we got to see a lot more Gunnar Stockton in the second half because Kirby pulled.
I was
He
gonna say Gunnar
as a
Stockton 10 for 12. He got to throw 12 passes.
12
That's about
passes, good for
14
him.
more than he normally does.
Exactly, and I'll say this now. Some of the joy I was speaking highly of him. I've heard some stuff coming out of Athens.
Mhm.
Don't come at me, Georgia fans. A lot of you are like Gunnar Stockton. He's from Rabun County. Everyone's like, we got to pull for the local boy. I doubt he's your starter next year. He
I don't
doesn't
think
look
so.
like a starter. Looking at him looked like, okay, I guess he did 10 of 12, but I didn't see any throws where he zipped the ball in there. They were wobblers. They didn't look great. He looked like Peyton Manning throwing the ball when Peyton Manning was retiring.
Are you using the same 4 letter stat sheet that I am? Because their math is not adding up. I've got him 10 for 12 for 90 yards for 7.5 per throw. How is 7.5
They're
times
average.
10 equal to
Average.
90?
It's average per attempt. It's not
Okay.
average per completion.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say if it's per completion, that math doesn't add up.
No, it didn't. But yeah, not knocking him. He's a good quarterback, but I don't think he's a Georgia starter. I honestly think that the starter's either on the roster in the form of Jaden Rashada, the transfer from Arizona State,
I
or
can see
Ryan
that.
Puglisi. coming in because we also have Ryan Montgomery coming in as a freshman next year. But the fact is, he just tore an ACL. He's done for his high school career. He's not going to start year one at Georgia. Georgia's not going to start a freshman unless you are just that freshman. Unless you are just that kid, you're not
And
starting.
coming off Achilles, you never know.
So I'm just gonna say, like looking at it, I don't think Gunner's it. He had some okay throws, but there were some I looked at and went, that should have been picked off. Like if this was any other team, they would have killed it. So uh Georgia needs to figure out the backup situation, but I think Kirby knows that he trusts Gunner enough to get the job done, but not be the star. Running the ball, we did okay. This is definitely a let's let Carson air it out and get nearly as many yards as he can. ETN had a good game. Frazier had a decent game. Wish I could have seen him break a few more. Branson Robinson finally broke through for some big runs. That 13-yard touchdown run, that was a boost for
Well,
him.
the
Great
thing
to see.
with at the end as well, though, is I think with it being his first game back, they were trying to feature him a little more, and I think
Oh,
that's why Nate
absolutely.
Frazier didn't get as many carries and as much
I mean,
push.
he
Is
got.
they're
I mean,
kind of
he
like
got one more
you had your
carry than him,
breakout,
but
and
it just would
Kirby's
have been
going to
nice
go.
to see the
And
yards.
people know to look. Yeah, people know to look for you, Nate. Let's make them look at Etienne too, and then next week they can look at a third guy, and that way they won't know which one's coming.
Yeah, it just would have been nice to the yards. Like I'd love to see him get another break off a couple of big runs and hit that 70, 80-yard mark with
Yeah,
ETN. So everyone knows, look, we can run the ball 6 times with a guy and he's going to hit nearly break 100 with either one of them. And also, we're going
yeah,
to throw the ball for over 300 yards over your head and you're not even going to think about it. So and receiving Arian Smith had a good play, that 50-yard touchdown catch that he had to literally slow up for. I don't know
yeah,
that was Carson's accuracy. Either he is not as accurate as we thought, or he's just dealing with something like he's a little behind his guys. And I thought he could fix it, but maybe that's just who we're dealing with, and we have to adjust. Because I mean, Arian Smith is so fast that he might have just had to wait for that ball because he was like, "Hey, I thought you were going to throw it deeper." And that's not that Carson doesn't have the arm. I think he just arced it a little bit much, or
yeah,
he didn't think his guy was going to get there as fast as he did. But I mean, all around, we kind of tossed the ball to whoever we could, and
yeah.
it was a good game for all of them. Um, and I hate to tell
What
you,
about
man,
the?
but your man did not get a tackle this week.
I just was about to say, did he even play? I did not
I
see.
think he played. He got out in the field, but I don't think he did much. They ran a lot of freshmen. CJ Allen actually led with tackles. He's a sophomore, excuse me, sophomore CJ Allen. He got to play more. You got to see
You
more
you
Raylan
know who had the
Wilson.
biggest play on defense?
Who's that?
Thunder Dan Jackson.
Yeah. Well, I said they call him Dirty Dan for
That
a reason.
I don't know if he I can't remember if he caused the fumble, but when he recovered the fumble, you would have thought that they won the national championship because
Hmm.
they erupted. And I don't know if he's just one of those senior leaders that they were waiting on him to have a big moment and he finally got it, or if
He's
they just
well,
thought it was a cool play.
Dan has had some good plays. He's the one who blocked I believe it was Dan who blocked the punt
Yeah,
against
I think
Arkansas.
so.
Dirty Dan, he's one of those scrappy guys. Like
Johnny Dan,
we've
even better than Thunder Dan.
see, like you've got KJ Bolden who's kind of blocking him right now.
Okay.
And the reason Dan Jackson does play faster, he's not a 5-star guy. He's a three-star player. It's simply that he just knows how to play. He knows how to play a role. He's 6'1", 195 pounds. That
So he's
he's
my
nothing.
size.
Yeah, he's nothing special. But like he knows what he's doing. He's competent. He's gonna get beat on occasion, but you trust him to be able to do his job. Like that at the end of
Yeah.
the day, Dan Jackson's gonna go make that tackle that no one else wanted to go make, or he's gonna at least go up and pop somebody. That's what you're looking for. He's that next spot. Like I mean, I guess worst case is an Adam Archuleta kind of player, like where there's a throwback for you.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, white guy playing safety out there. He's not going to light you up like a John Lynch would or anything like that, but he's solid. He's dependable for a time. It, you know, until his, whatever reasons, like he's going to do a decent job, and you can trust him out there to not blow
Yeah.
something. He may not wow you, and he may be out of place, but he's not going to make a mistake that's going to cause you to lose a game.
And then, you got Woodring that hit both his field goals, hit all of his extra points. But Brett Thorson, how about he averaged 55 yards per punt? Now, granted, he had one punt, but he still had a 55 average, which looks really cool on a stat sheet.
It does. That's why you call him the Thunder from Down Under. My favorite thing is the fact that after the game, that he Carson Carson Beck was talking. They said, "So what do you think?" He goes, "Honestly, my goal is every time I get out there is to never let Thorson touch the ball." And it's become a running joke because Brett
I
Thorson
mean,
tweets, "Hey, Carson Beck hates me," and like
yeah,
literally, I think Stockton. He goes, "Hey, I love Gunnar Stockton. He let me punt." Like
yep.
he has fun with it because he knows it's his job to not get out there. But this kid out of Melbourne, everyone's already seen the Thunder leg. He's accurate. Let's just go ahead and say it. This is a NFL level leg. I mean, he's proven he's got the bounce to flip a field. I mean, a couple of years ago in 22, when he had that 75-yard punt that flipped the field into like the 2-yard line,
Oh yeah.
like that right there proved it. That was his only punt inside 20 because, well, I mean, Georgia, to get the ball near the 20, like it takes a miracle. I mean, he's already done better this year at getting all of his punts within the 20-yard line. 5 punts, he's averaging right now 49.4 yards per punt after return. That's
Wow.
4.5, 4.4, and just under 6 yards difference in the past 2 years. So, I mean, we're talking about punters here for a minute, for crying out loud, and we're seeing how good this guy is. So, you're happy to see it, that's for sure.
Sorry, I was trying to see if I might actually be able to pick up the channel that Georgia's going to be on this week because I'll call you out. DirecTV, figure this out.
Yeah. Hey, sorry, I just flipped it back over to the Manning cast. 16-7 49ers right now.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of torn on that game because I
I'd like
want
to
the
see the Jets win.
49ers to dominate, but man, what will upset the apple cart is if the Jets either with or without Aaron make this work.
They just need that. They've got the defense. They don't have the offense, and they've got it now that they've got it now that they Aaron's back, and he's already looked good. I just think that they've just got to figure out because I mean, 49ers defense is no joke. So it's going to
Right.
take a week or two for them to gel.
They can rotate 8 Pro Bowlers on the defensive line at any time. Literally, there at least 6 or 7 every year go from their team.
Oh no, that's 100% truth. Like it's fun to watch.
See, now I was going to say if we had extra time, we could talk about some good SEC matchups, but I'm looking at the slate, and there's only about 1 or 2 other SEC games other than the Georgia game that I would even, try to wake up and watch. Is there anything stands out to you?
All right, let me pull this thing up here. All right, so I think
So, I
your
mean,
Alabama
Vanderbilt, Georgia State, okay, kind of fun. Alabama, Wisconsin,
that
okay,
one it I won't say anything with Alabama this year because we haven't seen enough yet. They
right.
played a cupcake and they played their game. They played last week against USF. USF gave them fits last year in a hurricane without Jalen. Jalen plays, and I'm texting my dad who will be listening to this. So hi, Dad. But I will tell you right
Good
now, we
catch.
both we both said the same thing. Jalen does not look like that NFL quarterback. Bryce Young
Nope.
is not looking like that NFL quarterback now.
Nope.
I gotta say, I think this you're starting to see what the downfall of Bama was is they didn't go after the quarterbacks that they needed to at times. Like, yeah, they had decent college guys, but I'm looking at Jalen. If you get pressure in Jalen's face, he panics. He's a deer in headlights. That's what's
Yep.
happening. They got blown up by USF a lot of times. USF got let down by their offense. If they had an offense, that game was over. They just got beat by better. They had better players. Your South Carolina LSU game could be more fun. I would be watching that one. I'll be at the beach in Texas, so I won't be able to see much, but that one could be good because South Carolina's defensive line looks better with that Ed Dylan Stewart, the true freshman. He's just wreaking havoc as a speed rusher. Be fun to see, I guess, LSU's line. Florida State, Memphis. I kind of want to take Memphis in that game.
Oh, are you looking at top 25?
I'm looking at every game right now.
Oh, okay.
I just kind of saw that. I'm scrolling through because, like you said, Missouri against Boston College, that might be fun to watch. I
Maybe.
don't think Boston College will hold up to Missouri for 4 quarters, but that'd be interesting to
Unfortunately,
see.
no. Boston College is going to be fun this year. They're going to do some good things. They might be the second or third best team in the ACC by the end, but they're not taking out Missouri.
No, no. Dang, you're not wrong. There's just not a ton. I mean, some of the stuff that stands out to me though that's not SEC is going to be the Civil War between Oregon and Oregon State, because
I just saw that game. Yep.
I don't know that Oregon is the team we're thinking they are right now.
Well, and I mean, I know we both know how much time's left. Are we Boilermaker fans this week?
I'm a Boilermaker fan any week they play who I think they play.
Oh, they
But
play
yeah,
a
I
team
mean,
we've mentioned already
oh, I know. I honestly Purdue's a good team. I think Boilermakers will give them a run for their money.
at home. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. Why? Hey,
The
Washington
Georgia
State.
State
I
game
didn't
could
see
be
that
good.
one either. They're both 2-0.
Who is?
Washington State.
Could be entertaining.
And that's on Peacock.
Well, you can
That
watch
that's
that
a
one.
that's worth signing up for.
Hmm. Yeah, there's not a lot. This week seems a little low on good ones.
Utah State. But that's
Here's your big game. Colorado and Colorado State. Give me Colorado State this year.
unfortunately, and I guess we'll get canceled by their coach too. Is I would pick against Colorado almost every game.
It's
They're going to
the
win
same thing.
games, but just he is setting them up for just the floor to get pulled right out from under them.
Well, you saw what I sent you. You saw what I
Yep,
sent you. He literally just told the Colorado Buffalo band. I don't know what their actual name is other than that. He literally told them, "Do not play our fight song anymore when my son scores. You play his rap song." I'm sorry.
I would.
I still don't. I've never hated Dion, but I've never loved Dion. He's cool. He's fun. He's funny. It's cool to see him, the swagger. That's what you
He used
expect.
to be cool. Now he yells at clouds.
Yeah, the problem with him is his ego, and he's literally just there for his kids, it feels like. He's there, like, I don't think he stays
Yeah.
there. I don't think he stays after his kids are gone. I think he'll move on because teams will be like, you're not worth it. I mean, listen,
Where does he
throw and
go
jump
though?
over to, I don't nowhere. He goes back to TV. I'm looking at their
Probably
schedule. They have Colorado State. That should be a loss. They have
loss,
Baylor,
loss,
UCF,
coin flip,
Kansas State,
coin flip.
Arizona. That's a loss.
That's a loss.
Cincinnati. That's a coin flip.
Yeah,
Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. That's at least two, maybe three games they lose there at the end.
yeah. I was about to say he's 1-3 at best in that.
Right. So that you're looking at all those. That's what you got: three losses, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's at
Okay,
least a
that's no
4 and
bowl.
8. Yeah, I don't
Yep.
think they make a bowl game.
No, I don't think they do. But
And you can
what do we
clearly
got?
tell everyone who
Five,
got a
six
couple minutes
minutes.
left. Everyone can tell that we really there's nothing to talk about the Georgia game because I mean it was a scrimmage. One thing I did notice watching it is for Georgia fans, number 19 and number 18 at linebacker, you don't see length at 6'2", 6'3" with really long arms above average length, but
Right.
someone who is intelligent that looks at the line and goes, I know what's happening, and they play fat.
Oh,
Anyone who know what you got.
I got a storyline we can talk about.
All right, let me finish. I'll be finished this. I'll be very brief.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Go ahead.
18 and 19, you got make sure I'm getting their names right here so I don't screw this up. But Justin Williams and Chris Cole, 6'3", 6'2", both of them, they're both process when a linebacker processes what's happening across them, it doesn't matter if he runs a 4.9. He plays faster because he's processing what's happening. Now he's going to get beat, but he knows how to process, so he can jump the routes. He can get to the line quicker. These two guys are lightning fast and processing faster than most other players do as true freshmen. They look like they've been there for a minute. Those two, along with everyone, there's not. I don't think there's a second or third round draft pick in that linebacker room now. They're all first and second at worst. Georgia's got a stacked inside linebacker room that they can just rotate in and out. No matter who goes in for the play call in the headset, they're in good shape. So keep an eye on that. If they get in the game, you will see those two your starters going forward. I mean, but then again, you look at this. I'm looking at this sheet. You got C.J. Allen and Raylan Wilson. You got four linebackers to play two spots, and all four of them are first round draft picks with lightning fast speed and the ability to pop.
I
But
just keep
anyway, just
rotating.
keep rotating. But Georgia fans, pay attention to those guys. 3, 5, 18, and 19 when you see them on the field. They're going to be fun, something else for the years to come. So
Well,
anyway,
let's go to.
what you got?
Yep, let's go. Let's go to my fun conspiracy and theory room. There it is. The starting quarterback for people who have not been paying attention for the University of Kentucky is one Brock Vandegrift. I think Georgia fans know that guy. Do they not know that guy? He was supposed to be the guy, and then Carson Beck stood up, and Vandegrift had to go be a Wildcat.
Vandegrift was one of the most accurate passers in high school history at Prince Avenue Christian. That's why Georgia
Absolutely.
went after him. It doesn't matter that it was a one-star school. I watched him. I watched him play against Gunnar
He can
Stockton, and
play.
Gunnar beat him. But
Yeah.
Vandegrift looked good. He was an accurate passer. The day he stepped to foot on a college campus, accuracy went out the window. He has not had it. He throws ducks, and he can't process the field in front of him. He kind of gets panicky. Where the problem is the arm is not there for Stockton now, but he doesn't
Yeah.
panic. But yeah, Vandegrift going there. Someone joked that Vandegrift literally went to go get starting reps with Kentucky, have a great year, and then transfer back to Georgia to be the starter next year. I don't see that
I mean,
happening after the way he's played.
dumber things have happened, and that wouldn't be that dumb. I mean, weirder things have happened. I want to give the kid credit for that.
Oh
Um,
yeah, and I think he was one of those. I don't remember if he was told by Kirby you might want to consider looking elsewhere, but
he probably was.
he probably was because Kirby is going to hedge his bet with Stockton, even though Stockton hasn't shown it yet this
Yeah.
year.
And Kirby probably has that conversation with certain people and go, look, no, you're
Hmm.
good. And if you want to continue to be number two or number three, but I'm telling you right now, if there's somewhere you want to go, say something, and I'll make a phone call. You can go wherever you want.
Yes, that is absolutely how he does it. I know some people close to it who've said that he has those conversations. Every coach has that conversation, but the difference is they're like, look, you're not going to have a spot. If you do, you're not going to have a scholarship. We'll have NIL to help fund it. But if you really want to start and play for more than a special teamer role, you need to move on. Unlike the last person we talked about in Coach Sanders, who literally just says, you ain't worthy of playing on my team. Get out now, leave,
Yep.
which is also the
You're not
Tommy
going to play
Tuberville
for.
way.
Yep. And it might be that Clemson guy as well. But 2 minutes left. Quick, your game prediction.
If the weather holds the way that they're saying it's going to be a wet and wild one, which it seems like that is every time they play in Kentucky. So if that's the case, it's going to be a slog fest. But Georgia's got the backs this year. They got the ponies. Carson maybe throws for 250 at most, depending on the weather. I'd say Georgia's probably going to win 31-14 at most. Now, take that back. They'll give up a field goal. If the weather's really bad, they won't give up anything because that's their third straight game at Georgia, only giving up 3 points. And if anything showed me, South Carolina's defense isn't the same level, so Georgia should have a field day against them. I think 3 points might be generous, but I think that Georgia will slow it down if the weather's bad, unless those horses are just rolling. If they're rolling, they'll run it up to 40 something. Weather's dry, Carson airs it out, and you have another game like we just got through having.
Yeah, 34-16, 34-17, somewhere in that boat is probably the safe thing. And I'll even go as far to say that our favorite Georgia Bulldog, Chaz Chambliss, is going to make a play on Vandegrift. I don't know how. Don't know
He
how.
gets, I'd say he gets a sack
Going to do something.
somehow, but he gets a sack on a scramble and probably causes a fumble on Vandegrift,
There you go, Chaz. I know you're listening.
or tip drill interception, and hopefully he can run it all the way back.
Absolutely. But we both got a dog victory. Kentucky will be the best team they've played so far. So we'll see what that actually does. And the weather could be something. But we've reached the end of Hunker Down. Hopefully, you dog fans enjoy all of this. He's Jake Skinner. I'm Jeremy York. We will see you guys next time. Deuces, gooses, go dogs.